Hey, good morning, everybody. Another beautiful day, a little overcast and chilly. We're headed into fall out here in northern Illinois near Chicago. So you'll start seeing the leaves dropping soon, and my woods are just absolutely beautiful in the fall. So I'm Rita Hickman. I'm a body-mind expert, a shiatsu massage therapist, and I help women in toxic and narcissistic relationships. I help them get back their pride, get back their clarity of mind, get back their energy, get back their sanity, get back their health, all of those things, whether they are in a narcissist relationship currently and need to cope because they can't go, or whether they're out and they'd like to start a new relationship with somebody new but have trust issues or issues from the past or trauma around narcissist relationships. So I really help women on a body-mind level get their life back. It's not simply words. It's about how does your body work? How does your body-mind work? How does nutrition affect mental health? How does environment affect emotional health? How does what don't you know yet, which is true about the world which you haven't learned? All of those wonderful things. That's how I help women. So today's topic is on how to better manage a narcissist mood swings. So one of the biggest traumas, well, let me talk about trauma real quick. Trauma is when something happens to you and it's unexpected and you feel helpless about it and you don't have an opportunity to process through it. So when you're helpless, it's unexpected, and you don't get to process through the experience, then all of those thoughts and those emotions and that nervous system pattern, that reaction, that fight or flight reaction, the physical part of it gets stored. The chemicals of the emotion, the nervous system reaction to it, it doesn't get moved out of your system. It doesn't physically get out of your system. So instead it ends up stored, and then it can be stored for decades, your whole entire life, only coming up when someone pushes that button. So that's trauma. Trauma is a physical experience that unprocessed ends up creating health problems and all sorts of other things. So if you've been in a relationship with a narcissist or a toxic person, you more than likely have an enormous amount of trauma because things were unexpected, you were helpless to it, and you weren't able to process through. Now, in order to not keep having traumatic experiences from the narcissist, because they're going to have mood swings. That's the MO of a narcissist. They're unpredictable. So how do you bring a little bit of predictability or security or safety when you're in a relationship with someone who is so unkindly unpredictable, so unpredictable in an emotionally and sometimes physical and mental and all of those ways? How do you get a handle on that? How do you bring some predictability and not keep being traumatized over and over and over and over and over and over because they got stuck in traffic and decided that you were the perfect, opportunity to be mad that dinner was late and not on the table, or that the chair was moved, or that the dog is whining, or whatever it may be. It's random. That's the thing with narcissists. It's pretty random. Their psychological makeup is a little complex, and so you'll never figure it out, which means that they'll constantly be having temper tantrums and meltdowns in the blink of an eye when you think everything's going well, because they get triggered, and there you go. So what do you do about that? Why do you, how do you stop not ending up in those situations? So here's how you work around it. Typically when we've been traumatized by something, when we ignore it because it's too painful to think about, and then we keep our little spidey senses always open, looking for, when we should run away, or when we need to be on our guard. And that's in a very reactive sort of point of view. And when you're always looking around, looking for danger, Will Robinson, what's going to happen now? What's going to happen now? Walking on eggshells. When you end up in that pulling within state of mind, you're going to feel victimized and you're going to feel helpless and out of control, as if things are happening to you. And you'll end up feeling traumatized over and over and over, and it'll get lodged into your body, and you'll get sicker and sicker, and your stress level will go up because you're constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop. You know, and that's normal. Don't even worry about it. I mean, that's what people do. That's what we do when we're in a place of fight or flight. How do you change it around? You change it around by taking some time and space that's yours. You find and carve out some time and space that's yours. And you start looking at how you want to respond to the next meltdown. You start looking ahead. You start looking 3 or 4 or 5 steps ahead. And you come up with a game plan of like 4 or 5 things you want to try, you know, and you try them, which means that you aren't, you're doing it on your terms and your way, by your rules. You know, you're like, okay, I'm going to try a couple things and see how it works. I'm going to try getting mad. You know, the next meltdown, I'm going to try getting mad. And if it's not going well and I'm a little nervous, then I'll go back to my old pattern that I've always done. It's okay. But maybe you've tried mad before. Then you're like, okay, maybe this time I'll try no contact. You know, and so as soon as you think they're going to say something, you shut up, you turn around, and you walk away. You know, maybe you try that. Maybe you try, one of the times I'm going to stand there and I'm going to take it, but I'm not going to say anything, and see how that works. You know, the whole thing is when you're experimenting with things, when you're trying different things, it's you taking back your power, even if it fails. You know, and the cool thing about experimenting is you can try a little bit, and because you aren't taken off guard, because you had your plan, you know what, I'm going to try this, and this is what I'm going to say, and see how it works, see how it lands. Because it's on your terms, you've decided ahead of time how you want to try to handle something, it's less likely that you'll get emotionally hijacked and traumatized and taken off guard. Instead, what happens is you're like, aha, I've been waiting for this. I wanted to try this out. And then you're like, oh, this didn't work out. Maybe I want to try something different next time. Because here's the deal. Narcissists and you are psychologically complex. There's a lot going on. You can't possibly, in a million billion years, know what's going on with a narcissist or what will affect them or not affect them. And every day is a day where things are a little bit different. So when you have a game plan, when you have things you're going to try, a little list of stuff you want to practice, don't stick to one thing. Don't just say, well, they said, so that's what I'm going to do. Instead, say, I wonder if no contact would work. Let's give it a shot. You know, the next time that they have a meltdown, this is how I'm going to handle it. I'm going to grab my suitcase and I'm going to walk out and slam the door and see how that flies. See how that goes over. So, I mean, you get to try different things. You get to experiment. You get to find the thing that works for you. And in the process of experimenting, you'll actually do some healing work, because the healing work is when you start to take your power back. When you start to do things that you've decided, not because you're being hijacked by your body, because suddenly the narcissist took you off guard and you're freaking out. Now all you can do is stand there and stare at them because you're paralyzed. You know, it's saying, you know what? No, I've got a game plan. And let's say it happens again. Let's say they get mad and you go back into your habit and you get paralyzed and you stare at them and you don't know what to do and you feel victimized by their anger. Let's say you try that. You're like, well, I know I'll have another shot because I'll have another meltdown. So next time they do it, I'll try the tactic I wanted to try again. Maybe this time I'll be able to try it, you know, and then a third time will happen and you'll be like, you know what? I noticed that I got a little bit of traction with that one. Let's tweak it a little bit. Or, no, that didn't work at all. That was a complete failure. But you want to try things a few different times because the moods change. The narcissist reacts differently because you're starting to react differently. Different things will the first time you do something, it may take them off guard. But the second time you do something, they may be better prepared. You know, or the first time you do something, let's say they don't know what you're talking about, and the second time you do something, they remember how you went ballistic, and it was, shock and awe, and now they're a little intimidated by you, because you demonstrated truly what you're capable of. So taking back your power is about looking ahead and deciding for yourself, even if it's a little scary or painful to look at it, but deciding for yourself that you're going to take responsibility and you're going to take your power back from this narcissist. And the way you take it back is not by changing their behavior. The way you take it back is by changing your behavior, by not allowing yourself to be put in a situation where you get traumatized, by putting things in place so that you have an idea of how you're going to handle it. And let me tell you, when you've got a game plan that goes beyond the next moment, but a game plan that says, okay, the next 10 times that they react, these are the things I'm going to try. It gives you a sense of confidence, and it changes your energy, and it changes how you move, and it changes how you walk into the situation, and it changes how the people around you interact with you, how the narcissist interacts with you, how the people who are borderline narcissists interact with you. It changes everything, and it changes how your body reacts to the situation, because suddenly you're not reacting and feeling helpless. Suddenly you're saying, you know what, I'm going to come up with a game plan of how I want to handle this. It's a wonderful opportunity to start to learn, how do you stand up to a bully, or how do you stand up for yourself, or how do you respect yourself, or what your needs actually are. These are great rabbit holes that you can go down. When you, it's almost like a laboratory experiment of learning the human psyche and the human emotion. Now, a lot of times, there's so many women that are like, you know what, I don't want to have any responsibility for this person at all. I just want to cut off all ties. I want to walk away. Here's the thing. The narcissist is not going to let go of you very easily, because you've been so compatible up till now for what they've needed. And so it's easier for them to try to make you comply than it is to go out and find a whole nother source. They're probably always fishing, but it takes a lot more work. Work to go out there and start something new than it is to try to control or manipulate the person that you've got. So when you start, they're not going to be out of your life just because you said no. They're going to be there a year from now, 2 years from now. Maybe you have kids with them. Maybe the divorce process will take a few years. There's all sorts of things going on. You have to realize that just by taking back your power doesn't mean that you're done with the relationship. What it means is that you're in this relationship, and the best things you can do is use it as a catalyst to become a happier, healthier, more peaceful person, by using the experiences as opportunities to learn about yourself and learn about human beings and learn about relationships, to learn about what's going on inside of you, what your triggers are, and to start healing the triggers, because some of these wounds only the narcissist can bring back up. Wounds from when we were very small, because we're pretty protected from those. We've been to therapy, we've been to counseling, we've wrapped our head around it, we've got an intellectual understanding that we've got daddy issues, and this narcissist has the ability to bring all of that up. The beautiful thing about being triggered is it's an opportunity to heal, because it means that now you can process through and get rid of that stuck emotion from 30 years ago that's still making your body freak out when a narcissist looks at you funny. Okay? You get to start becoming healthier physically too, because when you start detoxing these emotions, your body doesn't have as much of a physical burden of stress on it, and so it starts to heal itself. All those areas and parts and pieces that were protected and couldn't get circulation because they were always reactionary, they suddenly get to start healing themselves. You can get circulation in there. The body can do the miraculous work that it's designed to do. And so when you start coming up with a game plan, looking ahead 3 or 4 or 5 steps, things you want to try, how you want to try handling things, you will start to change the pattern of your reality. It doesn't matter whether the narcissist changes or not. What matters is that you change. And you're not changing for the narcissist. You're changing because you want to be happy and healthy, and you want to heal and move on. You don't want to be stuck here for the rest of your life, because it's kind of miserable. You want to start making those choices. So don't walk in thinking that you're going to try something and it's going to be amazing, and so why bother because nothing ever works anyways, and being freaked out. Instead, look at it as a list of things you want to try that you still stay some control over, and if you screwed up the first time, you'll have another opportunity because they'll have another temper tantrum in the future. You get to start deciding this, okay? So that's my advice for the day. Now, if you feel stuck and you want some help with this, I do one-on-one coaching, group coaching. The group coaching is super affordable. It's like $150, and the one-on-one coaching, we find something that works for you. It all starts with being curious and messaging me, and we set up a strategy call. A strategy call is like $100, but it's 2 calls, and we come up with a game plan that will move you forward, whether it's with me, whether it's on your own, whether it's a combination of everything, doesn't matter. What we want to do is start getting you to take action and move forward. And you don't have to do this by yourself. You're not supposed to. The scariest thing in life is to do these hard things by yourself, and we are not designed for that. You do not have to do this by yourself. And not only that, and support will actually speed up, exponentially speed up, especially expert help and support, exponentially speed up, so that in a year from now, you're 10 times farther than you would be if you did it on your own. That's the beautiful thing. You can actually move on with your life and move forward with your life, whether you still have the narcissist or not. You can actually make a lot of traction and headway. But the only way you're going to do it and speed it up is to get some support, okay? So if you're stuck, send me a message. I've got tons of groups, and we'll set something up to do a call and give you a little bit of hope, because there's a ton of hope, okay? I'll talk to you later. Have a great weekend.